last Wednesday, she had a very minor headache. Really didn't think much. I mean, that was it. It was just a minor headache. And then Thursday, she started with some minor congestion and a sore throat. And of course, my immediate thought was, well, these are symptoms of COVID. But then I had to stop myself because she had been grounded because she had just gotten a speeding ticket. So I grounded her. So I literally had just let her out for the first time last week. And she had only visited with her boyfriend at his house. And so like I said, the symptoms had started. And on, like I said, Thursday was the congestion and minor sore throat. On Friday, that continued. And then it went into late Friday night into like overnight. Then she started with the vomiting and the chills. So I had taken her for a COVID test Saturday morning, and by Saturday night she had tested positive.
And this is all around Christmas.
Yes, this is all. What would that have been? I think that whatever Wednesday was, the 19th. So then now she's incorporating body aches into it. And I had called the pediatrician's office because she was getting a severe pain in her left shoulder. And I called the pediatrician and they suggested that I take her to the emergency room for an x-ray to make sure that there's not fluid building up on her lungs. So we went to Silver Cross on Wednesday morning, like about 5 o'clock in the morning, we went. And by Christmas Day, she was being airlifted to the University of Chicago Hospital, and she passed away the day after Christmas. It was that quick.
My goodness.
Yes, and no underlying conditions at all. She was a very healthy 18-year-old young lady. No, we were proactive with our health. We had all gotten our flu shots, and they knew the importance, because I would stress it all the time, of the social distancing and making sure that we have our masks. And for kids, they were doing the best that they could, as along with the rest of us. And the boyfriend and his father, because of course when she came back positive, they went and got tested as well, and they both tested negative. I also got tested the day after her, and my results came back negative. I truly have no idea how she contracted it.
But just days after a positive test and all these symptoms, and I mean, with
Yes.
days, she would lose her life?
Yes. She so the reason that we went to the University of Chicago, well, while she was in Silver Cross, I mean, her oxygen levels just really went down, and they wound up having to intubate her and put her on a ventilator. Prior to moving her to ICU, she was still able to communicate with me, because obviously because of the COVID, I couldn't stay with her at the hospital. So the nurse, as she was taking her, from one room down to ICU, and it wasn't, they had not made the determination to put her on a breathing tube at that point. She was just requiring more oxygen than what they were allowed to on the floor she was on. So the nurse, we're on the phone, on speakerphone, and, Mom, what do you want to say to Sarah? And I always called her Pumpkin, and I said, Pumpkin, it's going to be okay. She knew she was going to miss Christmas. She loved Christmas. And it's just a day on the calendar where, Matthew, her older brother, we're going to wait for you to come home and do Christmas. It's going to be fine. They're going to get you better, and you're going to come home. And then the nurse said, Sarah, what do you want to say, Mom? And the last words that she said to me, Mom, it's going to be okay. And she went down there, and we texted once, and I didn't hear back. And then the nurse called me back, and that quickly they wound up having to intubate her and put her on oxygen. So she was sedated from that point on. They decided that an ECMO treatment might benefit her.
Mhm.
And that was the purpose for sending her to the University of Chicago, because Silver Cross doesn't do it. And they did the procedure, and it went well, and they had brought her back up to her room in ICU. And as they were monitoring her, her pupils dilated, and she was starting to have a series of mini strokes and going into cardiac arrest. And then they did a brain scan and found out she was having brain bleed on both sides of her brain. And they did what they could, but it took her. It took her. A perfectly healthy 18-year-old girl. As a mother, I felt I had to apologize, because I felt like I didn't do enough to take care of her. The doctors and nurses, they all tried so hard. But I told her it was okay. She fought really, really hard. I know she fought hard. My daughter was a fighter. But it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. It just took over. And it took her from all of us. There are people out there that don't take it seriously, or they minimize it. Her dad and I are here to tell you that it's real. There'll be more holidays, there'll be birthdays, there'll be all these events that we're not able to do what we're normally able to do. You'll have them again. This took my daughter, and we're not going to be able to have those again. Please wear your masks, do your social distancing. Don't worry about getting together for these big parties. Just wait till this is under control, and you're not in the position that her father and I are in right now. Nobody should have to bury their child. Nobody, no parent should have to watch their child go through what my daughter went through. It's been a nightmare.